way of the beaver. So how many of you have ever seen a beaver before? Okay, quite a few of you. I think I've seen a beaver maybe once in a zoo, but that's about it. Cool thing about beavers is how extremely independent they are and how goal-oriented they are, which is why this is in control of achieving the goal. That's what the way of the beaver is about. Because these beavers can go by themselves, cut down a huge tree with their teeth, and then drag it and roll it all the way back to where they're trying to build their home. By themselves. To me, that seems outrageous, because doing things that are way bigger than me just seem incredibly hard. But these beavers, because they are so goal-oriented, they're able to accomplish that. So I'm going to show you the 3 parts that go along with the way of the beaver and making goals. The first part is a playing field with clearly marked territory. So what that means is when you set a goal, you need to have a clearly marked territory. Haven't you guys ever heard of SMART goals before? Okay, I'm going to teach you what SMART goals are. So, SMART, first piece. Second part is everyone is respected and listened to. So, I have another question for you guys. Have you ever been in a situation where your opinion wasn't listened to? Or somebody threw aside what you had to say? Has that ever happened to any of you? Okay, so that's happened to me too. It happened actually just last year at college. I was in a leadership class. We had this activity that we had to do, where we had to get from one side of the room to the other. And the only thing we could touch on the floor was these 2 boards. So you guys can see where obviously I might have kind of a technical difficulty of doing that, considering these boards were about this big. And my wheels aren't exactly aligned, so it wasn't going to work. Well, that's what I was thinking, is I thought, when he very first said this, we had 2 boards to get from here to there. These boards are only 5 feet long, so they have to be moved along for this entire group to get across the room. Well, before even thinking about it, my teacher turns to me and says, Amberley, I think that you can probably sit this one out. I thought, really? I mean, okay, I understand that I'm a little bit in a disabled situation, but still, really just sit me out? I said, no thank you. Somebody can carry me from that side of the room to that side of the room. But that was a time where, you know, I feel like that because of where I was at and because of being in a wheelchair, they thought that I couldn't do something. And I know there's going to be times where you guys could feel like that too. That somebody will look at you and say, you know, maybe you should sit this one out. But if you have those goals and you have those dreams, don't let somebody else tell you you can't do that. So the last part is able but challenged. So what this means is when you set these goals for yourself, that they should be challenging. Make sure you can accomplish them, but they should be challenging. So we're going to take these 3 pieces and we're going to play a little competition of a game. So here, now this is how this will work. What we're going to do is we're going to use all 3 of these points. I'm going to give you the instructions with a clearly marked territory. Like, this is the clearly marked territory. What you guys will do is lay down on the legs of the person behind you, and you're going to need to put all of your faith in that person because we're going to pull these chairs out.
Whoa.
What?
Hey, Yoshi.
So that's how this is going to work. The part 2, I just have to make sure you guys have, are there any questions? I got to make sure you, okay. Yeah, just make sure that you're laying on her legs because she's laying on yours, so you're not all balanced.
Okay.
Wait,
we're pulling out the chairs from
yes, is this foolproof? And then part 3, so I have to tell you, this is challenging.
Wait,
But you are going to be able to do this.
So we're not like.
Are you ready? So you guys were able to be amazing beavers up here and accomplish this goal because of following all those steps. Because we had the clearly marked territory of what you had to accomplish. We had the questions answered, and even though that was challenging, it's harder with short legs, sorry. I didn't tell you that. But it was still going to be something you guys could accomplish. So now you guys are all amazing beavers. The end.